Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Cool Colas here to bring you the hustler's perspective. Hope everybody's having a good day today. I got a pretty cool topic here for you guys today. This one is called the 5 side hustles for introverts. So this will kind of give you a little bit of insight on different side hustles that people who are considered introverted can do, and it will go into detail about, first of all, what an introvert is. Second, why I chose this topic, and then third, the actual hustles that they can do and why they are perfect for someone who is an introvert. So let's go into what an introvert is. So, an introvert can be described as a shy person who has more inward motives and actions, and they tend to keep to themselves and aren't really who you would even describe as a people person. They tend to be kind of the lone wolf type, or people who want to kind of be in their own space most of the time and enjoy the company of themselves. That's how I would describe one. Now, let me tell you why I chose this topic. So, the thing about it is, when you're going into business in any type of fashion, any type of sense, I talk about this all the time, you have to have a passion and happiness for what you do. So the reason why I'm taking it kind of in that direction is I want to appeal to those people who have that different type of personality set. So introverts have a different type of personality than your average person who may be an extrovert. So what may make them happy may be different than what will make an extrovert happy because of how their personality is. So I want to come up with side hustles or talk about side hustles that would tailor to people who have that certain personality. I can also speak from experience. I am an ambivert, or what they would call an ambivert. I'm not sure if they really made that an actual definition in the dictionary just yet, but I can tell you that an ambivert, or what people call an ambivert, is a person who can at times be introverted, but at times be extroverted. My sense of ambivertedness, I'm kind of making up my own thing again here, of ambivertedness is based off the fact that I have an on and off switch. Sometimes I really don't like to deal with people, but then sometimes I enjoy the idea that I have the charisma and the skills and the ability to communicate with other people, which in turn can be enjoyable at times. So for me, I feel like I can kind of do both. It's kind of my choice. I don't always like to be out and about, but I don't always like to be sitting around as well too. I would say I'm just fine in the comforts of my own home. So I would say, if anything, I kind of lean more towards the introverted side because of that. And because of that, I could see myself understanding why introverts are the way that they are, which is why I feel the need to tailor this video to people who are like them. So, because I can understand their lifestyles, I think that being an introvert makes you a special person who, more so in a sense, wants to be able to do things independently because you like the lifestyle of just dealing with yourself. So I think that having that personality can affect what you enjoy and therefore affect what you will be successful in. So I think it's important to come up with ideas for people who want to reach the pinnacle of their success as a hustler, because you can still be a hustler and then still be an introvert at the same time. So we want to be able to make sure we find things that are going to make people who are like that happy, and then they'll be successful in turn. Because there could be hustles out there that are just for extroverts. Introverts may try doing them and they may not like them, meaning they may not be successful in them. So that's just kind of one of the things I was thinking about with this. And I also too, I wanted to appeal to people who, because they like their alone time, are working a lot on their alone time. So I wanted to come up with a couple different ideas for people who were just looking to do something based off of independent work. I mean, of course, everything's going to have some type of interaction, because in order to even get such an opportunity, you have to do some type of interaction, or to create an opportunity, you have to have some type of, interaction with someone, because essentially you have to think about this idea. Nobody who has ever become successful did it on their own. You're always going to need help. You're always going to need to build connections with somebody in some way. That's just the bottom line. Whether you're doing things independently or whether you're doing things where you actually are an employee. So again, like these are just going to tailor to those types of personalities for, people who want to kind of live a pretty prosperous and happy and fulfilling everyday life, but still kind of tailor what they're doing to their personalities. So the first side hustle that I think would be good for an introvert would be ship shopping. If you don't know what ship shopping is, Shipt is a company that has partnered with Myers in order to do grocery delivery services. And essentially people are signing up to have their groceries delivered to their house by people who are Shipt shoppers. So the shopper will get the list that was created by the customer and will go and shop for those items and check them out and then deliver them to the person, and they get paid for doing that essentially. So the reason why I think ship shopping is a very good side hustle for an introvert is because practically maybe 80 or 85% of your time is spent by yourself. The only times where you will have interactions is when you have to ask somebody at Meijer, if you don't know where an item is, where is the item at? Or when you have to just deliver the groceries. And delivering the groceries to the person, that may be a 5-minute or less conversation. Usually the people don't hold long conversations. They just kind of just want their groceries. So really, you're not really doing a whole lot of interacting. You're kind of just doing your job. And like I said, with Meijer, asking a question only takes a couple seconds or so. I mean, it may take a minute to figure it out, but I mean, you don't have to physically ask questions for a long extended period of time. So I would say that's a good one because there's low interaction. Most of the time you're just looking for items because you're trying to get these items for people who had these grocery lists. So that's why I think that's a good one. It's a good side hustle in general. It's a good way to make some extra cash. And it's a good way to do some independent work if you are an introvert. The next one that I think is a good side hustle for an introvert is blogging. This one is completely independent. As a matter of fact, the only way that you would even communicate with somebody is if you wanted to ask for help on how to build traffic or how to monetize your blog. So for blogging, essentially, you're doing exactly what I do on the Hustler's Jackpot. You're going to the blog, and then you got initial steps. So let me kind of not get ahead of myself here. You got to buy a domain name, of course. You have to have a platform to actually put your content on, and then you have to have a web hosting site that's going to host your content that you put down for your blog. So for blogging, essentially, you just have to have good creative content. I would recommend having a niche so that you can have something that a specific targeted audience will go to and continue to read on. So, keep it interesting, get a niche that people are generally interested in, and then you're showcasing your skills without having to do too much of talking to anyone or going anywhere and trying to just do this small talk thing with people that sometimes seems kind of awkward. You don't have to do any of that really with blogging. Again, you can do a partnership with someone, so that could make it a little bit more extroverted, but it's still pretty online based. So I think an introvert would be able to prepare themselves for something like that because it's something that's kind of minimal. So that's another thing I would say is blogging. But again, blogging takes a long time. So you need to be a very patient introvert and someone who can build traffic, who can get people started, get people riled up and excited for what you have going and what you got to tell them, and then can make money from there. So it's very independent, like I said before. The third type of hustle that I think would be good for a person who's an introvert is mystery shopping. This one is one of my personal favorites just because you do interacting, but your interacting is all somewhat scripted. It's scripted meaning there is a certain guideline that you have to follow because of questions that you need to ask the people who you are shopping, doing the mystery shopping with. So, for example, if you go into a car dealership and you're supposed to ask about a model of a car, you have instructions on the model of the car you ask about and what will be the rates and how soon could you get one of the certain color that they may ask for, of the certain year they may ask for, and then you get a business card to show proof of the fact that you went there. Now, mystery shopping, like I said with that, is a script that you're following. So the most extroverted thing you would do is be following the script, which is actually doing the job. But essentially, you won't really be doing a lot of authentic interacting. So I think it's good because a lot of it is independent. Later down the line, all you're going to be doing is a report that's going to showcase everything that you learned from your experience doing mystery shopping. So this one I think is a good one for an introvert. I would say introvert, ambivert, only because some of you may still feel that doing a script is somewhat of an extroverted practice because you have to put on a certain air in order to talk to people so that you can get the information that you want out of them. So if you think in that mindset, I understand, but I'll tell you right now, the way I look at it, and maybe we have a different way of looking at this, is for an introvert, they're a person who authentically is shy and authentically wants to do things on their own because they're not really a people person and they tend to keep to themselves authentically. And authenticity is taken out when you're doing mystery shopping because you're on a job. So you're doing a certain assignment. So basically you're kind of faking it. And then a lot of times, like I said, you're just sitting down at a computer and you're reporting the things that you found. And even if you don't want to necessarily go in the shop and speak to someone and shake their hands, I'd recommend maybe like a phone call shop. So doing a phone call mystery shop, you, for example, at a dealership, scheduling an oil change, for example, just giving you like an example of something that you may end up doing. And you ask for a time that you could do it. They ask for a little bit of information and you go on your way. That one's quick and painless. And you still make some money here and there doing them. So if anything, I would say for an introvert, just looking on my statement here, I would recommend phone shops first. And then if you're an introvert who doesn't look at the whole authenticity, sorry, I can't speak today, the whole authenticity thing as something where, you know, it's not really an issue, then I would try to go in and do a mystery shop because you're going to make more money that way. But definitely if you're an introvert and you really don't feel like talking to people a lot and you want to make this quick and painless, I definitely recommend doing phone shops first. So again, same process. You're talking to someone and then you're putting the report on. You're basically reporting your information, putting it on the site for wherever you're mystery shopping for, and submitting it. So that's kind of what I would do with that. So the fourth one that I have here on this list is UberEats. If you all don't know what UberEats is an extension of Uber where it's a food delivery kind of service. So in other words, essentially you're a delivery person, but it wouldn't be just like you would be delivering pizza or Chinese food or whatever. You'd be delivering all different types of food in different restaurants that are in your area. Now, mind you, UberEats is only in certain areas. So if you're not in, there's a few different areas, and I'll end up listing them kind of at the bottom here, like just different areas where, or at least like a link to the areas where you can find UberEats at. Then you may not be able to do this one, but it's available for those who have it available in their city. So essentially you're going to a restaurant, you're picking up the food, and then you're dropping it off to people who have requested trying to get that food ordered. It's a very simple one because your only interactions are the people who you're picking up the food from and the people you're dropping them off to. And again, those are interactions that are less than 5 minutes here and there, but essentially you're making money from traveling. So really you're just saving people the convenience of getting their food on their own by getting it for them, but you don't really have to do too much talking or speaking. So I think Uber Eats is a really good one for introvert because you don't have to do too much talking or speaking. You just kind of get your food item and then you go on your way and then you take it on to the person and keep it moving, make some money. The last one, and I think a lot of you are going to like this one, is pet sitting. Now, the reason why pet sitting is a good thing for introverts is because when we talk about introverts, we a lot of times talk about people who are not people persons, but not necessarily other animal related persons. The reason why I say other animals is because I know some of you all out there saying, oh, a human is not an animal, and a human is definitely an animal. I'm sorry, the science in me comes out sometimes, so you just got to kind of bear with me on this one. But you're dealing with a different type of animal, so introverts, in a lot of instances, that rule I feel would not apply the way that it would for a human being. Now, if it does for you, if you're an introvert who just doesn't like beings in general, I think that's a whole nother plateau or ballpark. But I think that a lot of people who are introverts would like to deal with pets and things like that, because you're not really dealing with humans, you're dealing with another animal, like I said. So I think that with pet sitting, you can definitely make some money, because there's it's always going to be in demand, because there's always going to be people who are going to want a pet as a companion, and they're going to want that pet watched if they go out of town or have something important they have to do, or have to, like I said, fly somewhere which is still out of town. You get my point, though, whether it's vacation or business, whatever. And they need you to kind of do certain things, like watch the pet, watch the dog or cat, or walk the dog, or feed them, little things like that. So again, like pet sitting, I think is a good one for introverts, because you're not really having very much interaction with humans, because you are doing essentially all of your work with pets, because you're essentially monitoring them. So in my opinion, I think this is a good one for introverts, because it allows them to have minimal interaction, once again, with the human species, and more interaction with the other animal species, such as, like I said, dogs and cats, and pets such as that. Some people may have some weirder pets, but generally dogs and cats are going to be kind of the ones that you'll see the most. Again, I think it'll be really cool to make money just basically dog or cat sitting. I mean, if you're not an animal person, I think that's a whole nother story. But we're just talking about for introverts and people who want to kind of work independently and are really just not people persons. So anyway, I wanted to kind of give you all 5 different types of hustles that will be good for you if you are an introvert, if you are somebody who's not a people person, or doesn't like being around people for whatever reason, or see yourself as somebody who's a little bit more independent, or has more of that lone wolf type of personality. So if this is you, please continue to look back at this video and see and try these hustles out and see if they're for you. Only gave you 5 because I didn't want to kind of overwhelm you. Just want to give you like a short list of things that you could try out. So best believe that later down the line, I may make a good side hustles for introverts part 2. I may make a video like that. I'm just throwing that out there right now. But I wanted to give you all a few that you all could try out today and see if, something that you like, because these are pretty, I think, easy to just start getting into. I'm not saying they're all easy as far as they don't take a lot of work, because anything that you do in life and as a hustle, of course, is going to require some work. So I think that you need to keep that in mind. But I mean it's easy as in you can start on doing all of these things today if you really wanted to, and if you really had the gumption to get out there and try to get it done. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. If you all liked what I had to say, then please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel. If you guys like and want to hear more about what's going on in the Hustler's Perspective world, then you can go to my Facebook page at the Hustler's Perspective YouTube channel. If you guys want to follow my blog, which talks about a lot of very cool things as well too, very similar to the Hustler's Perspective, you can go to thehustlersjackpot.com. If you would like to go to my Facebook page for my blog, you can go to the Hustler's Jackpot. If you guys would like to follow my business page on Instagram, you can go to at the Hustler's Jackpot. And if you guys would like to follow my regular Instagram page, my personal page, you can follow me at Cool Colas. Again, I hope everybody has a good day today. I hope everybody enjoyed what they heard. There's going to be a whole lot more to come. And for all you introverts out there, there will be more stuff in the near or later future. So there's going to be a lot to come. So continue to tune in. And again, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Keep hustling.